Christian, we are ever in a moment where standing firm on what you believe is absolutely necessary. There was no greater example of this than this past week. And there was no greater example of courage to do so than this past week. On Tuesday, January 17th, the Philadelphia Flyers held their Pride Night. That included having the team wear Pride themed jerseys during their warm up. NHL teams have been making this a part of their regular schedule for a few years now. Defenseman Ivan Provorov decided not to take part in the warm ups because he did not want to be forced to participate in something that ran contrary to his faith. He had this to say when asked about the situation. I respect everybody. I respect everybody's choices. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. This, of course, caused the media world to lose their minds. Sportsnet had this headline: Amidst progress, Provorov a reminder of the work to be done on inclusion. Many were saying he shouldn't even have been able or allowed to play in that game. Sid Cicero, a well-known journalist and sports commentator in Canada, said the NHL should fine the Philadelphia Flyers $1 million. The NHL has jumped headlong into today's inclusion movement, claiming that hockey is for everyone. This situation with Ivan Provorov has exposed this idea of inclusion for what it actually is. What inclusion really means is this: we're taking up these social initiatives. We're going to promote these social initiatives. You are going to take part in these social initiatives. And if you don't, the hammer is going to fall. Now, Provorov didn't make a spectacle over the situation. He wasn't loud and obnoxious. He just didn't take part in warm-ups. That's it. And what does the media then decide to do? Make a spectacle, be loud and obnoxious, and attempt to make an example of Provorov. Sid Cicero, the one who said the NHL should fine the Philadelphia Flyers $1 million, said that the NHL needs to attack this. That's rather strong language for something that is so inclusive. He said, quote, "The theme is not hockey is for everyone. Unless you don't believe in gay rights, then do whatever you want." Now, ironically, the theme in the NHL has become hockey is for everyone unless you do not support our social initiatives. It is amazing how the NHL really likes the idea of the assimilation of those in its league into the culture and the ideas that it holds. But Ivan Provorov never said that a single person cannot play hockey. That was never ever said. This is the logically fallacious leap that people take when you take a stand and say, I disagree. They say that if you choose to stand in the back and not to put on the rainbow, you are saying that those who represent the rainbow are not allowed to play, which is not at all what's being said. You see, it's perfectly okay for the woke ideologues to say, I disagree with your worldview and your lifestyle, but it's not okay for the Christian or the religious person to do the same thing. And I don't think if someone tells me or Ivan that if they disagree with my worldview or my lifestyle, that I'm somehow not allowed to participate. But when the response reaches the level of silencing, financial penalty, and the potential exclusion from the game altogether, then yeah, you're actually saying some people cannot participate. Now, thankfully, many have come to the support of Provorov. His coach, John Tortorella, came to his defense, saying that he was proud of him for standing up for his convictions. And if you scroll through the comment section on posts from large sports media outlets like TSN or Sportsnet, you'll see a large amount of support for Provorov, even if they don't share the same worldview and values, which really is the definition of tolerance. Tolerance assumes that you don't agree with someone. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to tolerate them. You would be agreeing with them. And here are some takeaways for the Christian. Number one, pray for the Ivan Provorovs of the sports world. There are many out there, but few choose to stand on their convictions rigidly. It's growing harder and harder to actually take a stand, even if that stand is a silent one. Number two, stop trying to appease the world and the culture around you. It is not possible. Whatever ground you concede, they will come for more. Think about how these movements started. When I was young, the L and the G were a hotly debated topic. They used to tell us, this doesn't affect you, so just let us marry whoever we want. So we said okay, and it quickly moved to the demand for acceptance, then the demand for approval, and we are now where we're at today. Number 3, too many Christians have an unwillingness to die on any hill kind of attitude. You and I are called to preach the gospel. You and I are called to speak the truth. And if you decide that you won't pick a hill to die on ever, there may not be an opportunity to even choose to do so in the future. Some pretty terrible things have been allowed to take place historically because the church and the believers chose to remain silent on social issues. Fourth and finally, speak the truth and speak it in love. Our culture has no problem spewing hatred towards you for your beliefs. They have no problem standing up and speaking out. So why not show them what it looks like to do so, but in a loving and compassionate manner? Loving someone does not mean that you stay silent or that you approve of their behavior. The most loving thing to do is to speak truth into their lives, if it means preventing them from heading towards destruction.